Thank you for giving us the honor for joining us today here at the ICD in Berlin, and thank you for your speech. We prepared some questions today for you, so we would like to start. You're welcome.
The first question would be, since we are here at the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy, what would be your own definition of what cultural diplomacy is?
Well, I would say culture is a kind of bridge to bring the people together and to cooperate and to cope with each other, to find some solutions to conflicts in a very easy and in a very nice way.
All right. And how has cultural diplomacy been useful to you personally as a politician in Germany coming from a migrant background?
You know, the thing what we are doing as our job as politicians, and to looking where are the problems of our time and how can we solve them. This is the one part, and the other part is how can we learn from each other to overcome conflicts, to overcome misunderstanding, to talk with each other, to find solution in the international, in a globalized world. And if you want to cope with the problems and get along with other people, you have to find a level of talking to each other, and culture is a way, it's opening the ways of talking. For example, we always say it's small talk, but it's more than small talk. It's learning from each other and listening to each other. And so if you're together with people in a different architecture, for example, or in a way where talking in congresses is allowed with each other, not just listening, talking with each other, it makes ways of communication simpler and uncomplicated. It's the important thing, being uncomplicated to learn something about the other cultures, and therefore diplomacy is a little bit more, but it's the beginning. The difference between the diplomacy and my work is I can say mostly straight through what I'm thinking of, and the diplomats have to find the right words to make packages of them which are not embarrassing.
That's true. Do you have some examples of real-life initiatives that can enhance those bridges that you were talking about, that bring people together?
I can give you some example. For example, when we are talking about children's rights or women's rights at the UN, sometimes we don't understand each other. For example, when we say we are against violence against women, we are coping with it and doing something against it. There are some cultures who say this is a part of the family, and other cultures which says no way, it is not. And if you just go there and say you are wrong and I'm right, you won't change anything. But you can find the problem together. What does this mean for the children? What does it mean for the women? What does this mean for the people's rights? We are together within it to protect it. What does it mean to protect somebody? Then you can start to talk. And in the end, we will have a program against violence against women. But you have to find a start without embracing the other part, picking them up in their way of thinking, finding a way of communication at the same eye level, and find a solution which is important for both sides and possible for both sides.
If I may add, do you see yourself then, or maybe that you're from two different backgrounds, you are a woman, it's not like that common in politics, do you see it as a benefit to have so different cultural backgrounds, to be in politics, to understand other people maybe a bit better?
You know, I had a chance in my life to get to know another culture and another way of thinking. It's a culture or a language is more than words. It's always a way of cultural thinking. And if you know both sides, sometimes life is getting easier and more interesting. And it's the same. It's not the thing I'm saying. It's the same also the companies are saying, that they have got their diversity strategy. We know, for example, from the crisis, the companies which has got more diversity in their leading factors have got less problems in the middle of the crisis, and they had the better marks at the end. And it's the same with the politics. If you know the way of thinking of your companion, you can better work with them.
Definitely. You had a speech about demographics and the challenges that are being faced by Germany, and you mentioned 3 pillars on which we can act to tackle this issue. And you mentioned gender equality and bringing more women back to work for longer. How exactly do you think is the best way of doing that? Do you believe in the force of law or in incentives in terms of social infrastructures?
You know, the thing today is that women are responsible for all social responsibilities. Growing up children, getting along with elder people, having the responsibility for household. But all these jobs are not bringing, though it should be different, I must say, social security. It's a bad thing. We should change the system, but we are not able to it in our existing system. In this existing system, to get along with, we need the women on the work. Germany is getting older, we've got less young people, we need the people in the labor market, and if you want the women in the labor market, you have to start with their rights. The same wages for the same work. There is also... women in Germany are earning 23% less than the men in the same job. We have to start with this. The second thing is to get along, to cope with children or elder people to look after. We need the infrastructure, we need the kindergartens full-time, we need good schools, good education opportunities for the children. It's not only the responsibility of the mothers, it's also the responsibility of the fathers. There should be more in the family, and not just in the company. So, to change the structure, you need small steps. And the sum of these small steps is at least a start to an equal way of working and living and privacy. And we need both. We need the men and the women, and we need another culture to make more opportunities for them both.
But do you have examples of which small steps, those small steps that you were talking about?
Well, let's start with the wages. The same earning for the same jobs would be the first step. The second one is that the more obligation for the companies that we need women in the top etage, in the higher ranking jobs. And the third would be that we need more infrastructure for the children and get along the job and family affairs together. And fourth would be we need more services for the women. It starts with elder people to look after, but also for the household and things like that. We need a service-based working jobs, and well, it's all together the structure which changes.
Last question.
Yeah. Since the one of the main topics of this Congress is creative economies, and you are in the Green Party, do you think that a economic model based on creative economy can be a sustainable alternative to traditional industries? And secondly, do you think that the education systems are adapted to fit this new model of economy in the future?
You know, it's not a question whether or not. We need the big companies and we need the creative companies both. And what we need more is the big companies to get more creative and to look after what are they doing better or less. And because the times of the big companies, like big ships, which cannot react if there is a crisis, which cannot give answers to the facts of globalization, these times are gone. We need more flexibility in the way of thinking, in the way of structure, in the way of behaving, and taking responsibilities, especially for sustainability. And this will be the future. Companies get along in a very flexible way with the questions of our time, with belonging to labor market, belonging to the questions of products, belonging to social responsibility. This will be the big question. So we need both.
Okay, so thank you for taking
You're
the time,
welcome.
and once again, thank you for your speech.
Thank you.